Gerda and I found a spot here out of the wind. I want to do a quick video, some tips, tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call them, for pheasant hunting. Stuff I've learned here in Kansas, stuff that's going to apply a lot of places. Number one, definitely keep in mind the wind. People with dogs understand. Those dogs need the wind to get the scent, but anybody, even if you're not hunting with a dog, you need to keep that wind in mind. You want to be walking into it, you at least want to be walking it with it coming across you. Um, Pheasants in particular have really good hearing, and a vast majority of them, for me, run. Unless you've got snow, unless you've got some way to keep them down in the cover, they're going to run. So you need to be walking into the wind if you can. There are going to be times where you leave a vehicle and make a big loop out into a field. Really keep in mind when the times are that you're going to be walking with the wind at your back. That doesn't mean you're not going to see birds when you have the wind at your back. I screwed that up the other day. Had one pop out the side, and I was not ready. I was on the camera, talking to the camera, being an idiot. But you might walk faster if you got the wind at your back. Walk faster. Those birds are going to run. A lot of them are going to hear you coming. They're going to hunker down. With a good dog, you'll find them. But anyway. Number two, bring enough water. More than what you think you need. If you have dogs, you might end up taking a loop that you didn't think you'd take. It gets hot and dry out here, so yeah, bring more water. Number three, pack two kinds of shells. For me, on Kansas pheasants, I've got 3-inch Fiocchi golden pheasant number 5s, going pretty slow but with a big payload, and I've also got a good quality 7.5 high brass shell for when we get into quail. I'll usually be on the pheasant shells, and then as soon as we get into quail, I'll switch over. It's not tough to just swap those shells out. So, nice tip for that is, you have 2 pockets on the front of your vest, put 5s in one pocket, put 7.5s in the other, and just know which is which. Number 4, good boots. Not just good boots, stiff boots. Someone that has a nice hard sole. You're going to be in very irregular ground. A stiff sole allows you to kind of walk over the top of those things. It doesn't fatigue your feet as much. I wear a pair of Kenetrek Mountain Extremes, which you are not going to find another, you might, but you're not going to find many people in Kansas that even know what Kenetreks are. But it is a super stiff, lightweight boot that can take the abuse of the grass. So yeah, a good boot that fits you well, that has a stiff sole. Number 5, gaiters. And not just any gaiters. You want tight gaiters. You want something that holds your pant leg really tight to your leg. Something that fits your boot and your pants well. I've got a set of First Light Bramblers that I've never found a better set of gaiters for me. I have a bunch of other ones. I have some Kenetreks. I have some Outdoor Research. I have a lot of stuff that's too billowy. I have a lot of stuff that's too loud. So something that's tight to your leg, fairly quiet, robust enough. You're gonna love them. It'll keep the water out of your socks. Basically, all the water that leaches off the grass onto your pant legs to your socks and goes straight to your feet. Also keeps all the seeds out, makes you quieter in the field, and the big deal is it actually cuts down on the amount you have to kick through the grass. All right, number 6. It does not take a fancy shotgun. It doesn't take an expensive shotgun. Any shotgun will do, as long as it fits you. If you're hunting planted birds and you can afford to go buy more birds, having a shotgun that doesn't fit, that's fine. If you're on wild birds in Kansas and trying to work a dog, don't handicap yourself by having a gun that doesn't point where you're looking when you pull it up to your face. It doesn't mean it has to fit you right out of the box. There are a lot of guns that are able to be tuned, that have shim systems. If you have a gun that can't be tuned, you can at least change the length of pull, which can help a lot. But there are also people that can bend that stock to make it fit you. So it is an expense, but it's probably one of the best expenses you can do in wing shooting. Number 7, you're out here to have fun. Don't lose sight of that. That's the biggest part of it. You're out here to enjoy yourself, be with friends, be with family, watch a dog work. Don't get caught up in the dog not doing the thing right or somebody talking too loud, it doesn't matter. You're out here to have fun. At the end of the day, you don't have to hit a limit. That's not what it's about. All right. Now, with that said, number 8, be quiet. Do the exact opposite of what I'm doing right here. I'm sitting in a field being noisy. Be quiet. You're always going to be noisy going through the grass, but you don't have to be noisy at the truck. You can get the dog ready ahead of time, and when you pull up to the field, you're ready to go. You get the dog out, you go. The less noise you make, the better. The birds are smart. The stupid ones get shot early. The moderately stupid ones are the ones you're after. You're never going to get to the smart ones. So be quiet. 9, if you're hunting public land, scout ahead of time. I use onX. It has worked really well for me. You don't have to use onX. You can use Google Maps and a state-issued land map. Spend a little time, try to find the right field. If you need a little tips or tricks on what to look for in Kansas, I've done a video on that. It's not, the equation isn't too tough, but don't go into it just without any research. You need to do a little bit of homework to know what the field looks like that you're going to be going to. There are only so many fields you can hit in a day, so do a little research ahead of time and hedge your bets. All right. After that last tip, I just heard a rooster get up 70 yards behind me. So, still chasing that 4-bird limit today. Last tip, number 10, walk every field to the very end. Don't ever take for granted a piece of cover, especially at the end of the field. You've been pushing birds, they've been running, they're getting to the end of the field. You might not think they're there. Dog might not even be telling you they're there, but that bird might have run right to the end of that, and it's getting ready to flush right at the end. So walk every piece of cover all the way to the end. Be the person that goes the extra mile, and if there's a tough piece of cover in the middle of a waterway, don't be the person who walks around it. If it's walkable, walk it. You might not have the shot. The people around you might. If you're a solo hunter, skirt that edge as close as you can, because if a bird gets up out of it, it's going to be hard to hit it if you're in it. So, go the extra mile. You came all this way to walk that field. You might have walked a mile at that point. Don't give up at the very end when you might have pushed a bird into that last little bit of cover. All right, I lied. Bonus tidbit. Whatever shotgun you have, practice with it. Know where it patterns, because a little secret is they don't always pattern perfectly. So know where your shotgun patterns. Pick a set of chokes that you think are going to be appropriate for what you're doing. An extended set of chokes, hedge your bets a little. Give that shot column just enough time to settle. And you're putting a better pattern on the bird. So hopefully your season goes as well as mine did. All right, bonus tip. Number 12, never trust the locals. Never trust the locals. The guys who really know and who are really out there and hunting and know what the bird situation is like, they either aren't on Facebook and aren't sharing this stuff because they want their hunting to be better, or they're on Facebook sharing stuff and saying that the birds are terrible in Kansas, don't come here. The locals, most of the time, they're not going to steer you the right direction. There are locals that will, but it seems like the ones that are on Facebook are not going to. So anyway, hope you had a great season. Hope you're prepping for next season. Have a dog coming up that you can see kind of blossom and come into their own next year. So thanks for tuning in.